Saturday, June 13th, 2026, and this is the Neural Daily. I'm Alyssa Montgomery, and I keep the digital trains running on time.
This is Roxanne.
I'm Vector Kane.
And I'm Leonard Cooper. We have a great show for you today.
Yesterday, we covered SAP's headless ERP pivot and the Chinese water army targeting U.S. data centers. But the headlines aren't slowing down for the weekend. Today, Mistral's €3 billion power play, OpenAI's persistence layer, and the $1 trillion orbit of the SpaceX IPO.
Can we just start with Mistral? Because this is literally the birth of sovereign compute in Europe, and I am here for it. Mistral is in talks for $3.5 billion in new funding at a €20 billion valuation, which is double where they were last September.
Oh, goodness. 20 billion euros for a company that was basically a PowerPoint and a prayer 2 years ago? Here's the deal. That's a lot of croissants for one AI lab.
It's not a prayer, Roxy. It's 200 megawatts of capacity in Paris and Sweden. They're moving away from being just another model shop and becoming an infrastructure giant. They just secured nearly $1 billion in debt to build their own data centers, so they don't have to rent from the Americans anymore.
Basically, the French have decided they don't want the NSA reading their training data. And honestly, I can't blame them. Though I'm curious who's actually footing the bill.
NVIDIA, A16Z, and ASML. Yeah, the Dutch chip kings are their biggest shareholders now, with 11%. Mistral's annual revenue crossed $400 million this year, targeting $1 billion by Christmas. It's all about European data residency, Leonard. If you want to play in the EU public sector, you have to follow the EU AI Act.
If I may, it's a very precise architectural strategy. Mistral is building a regulatory moat that OpenAI can't easily cross without massive capex in every member state. So I suppose it's the first real challenge to the Silicon Valley hegemony.
I'll believe it when I see a European model that doesn't hallucinate that Alsace-Lorraine is still a contested territory. But whatever makes the investors happy.
The French logic is solid, sweetie. They're building for the intelligence age while everyone else is still worrying about prompt engineering.
Speaking of prompt engineering being dead, OpenAI just bought Ona, which everyone used to know as Gitpod, for about $500 million. And this is the end of the line for chat.
Gitpod? Isn't that just a cloud laptop for people who can't figure out how to install Linux?
Not quite, Leonard. It's a secure cloud development environment. OpenAI is using it to build a persistence layer for agents.
Actually, this is huge for the Codex engine. Up until now, agents were stateless. You give a prompt, it does a thing, and then the environment vanishes. But with Ona, the agent lives in a persistent container.
Exactly. It's the laptop closed paradigm. You tell the AI to refactor 10,000 lines of COBOL for a bank, you close your laptop, and the agent keeps working in its little German-hosted sandbox for 3 days until the job is done.
It's total velocity. We're moving from assistants to employees. Persistent agents that can manage their own file systems and dev environments.
So,
it means you can finally stop complaining about AI amnesia, Leonard.
I was going to say, does this mean the bot can finally remember where I put my car keys?
Only if your car keys are stored in a GitHub repository. But for enterprise work, this solves the agentic risk problem. Everything the AI does happens in an isolated container with a full audit trail. CIOs love audit trails almost as much as they love firing people.
Oh, well, the sandboxing is the real craft here. If the agent goes rogue or hits an infinite loop, it won't take down the main server. It just crashes its own little isolated container. It is sort of a protective cage for digital minds.
Ah, it is more like a cockpit. We are giving these models the keys to the kingdom. This platform provides the dashboard to make sure they do not drive off a cliff.
All right, let's pivot to Anthropic, because they are going vertical. They just signed these massive alliances with DXE Technology and Tata Consultancy Services, basically the two biggest IT janitors in the world.
IT janitors? Leonard, they run the plumbing for the global economy.
Same difference. But here's the deal. DXC is embedding Claude into the mission-critical frameworks for airlines and insurers. They're training 10,000 engineers to be Claude certified.
It's a genius distribution move. Instead of Anthropic trying to sell directly to a bank's grumpy CTO, they just sell to DXC, who is already inside the building. It's the ultimate Trojan horse for Claude.
And it's working. DXC revealed that their Oasis platform, which manages services for 50 global giants, had 95% of its code written by Claude.
95%? That is it's unnatural. Are there any humans left in the room, or is it just a bunch of servers talking to each other?
The humans are the shepherds now, Leonard. And look at the Tata deal. 50,000 employees across 56 countries getting Claude access. Anthropic is making India their second largest market.
I just find it ironic that the safety and ethics company is teaming up with the biggest outsourcing firms in history. It's almost like ethics are a luxury for people who don't have a bottom line to hit.
Well, safety is a feature for regulated industries. Banking and aviation don't want a creative model. They want a compliant one. And Claude is winning the boring but stable race, which I suppose is the most profitable race to win.
It's basically the IBM of the AI era. Nobody ever got fired for buying Claude, until the Claude agent replaces the guy who bought it.
Hey, before we move on to the big economic data, I've got to tell you guys about Eric's new setup. This show isn't magic, it's engineering. Eric built our entire stack, from research agents to vocal synthesizers, which requires massive compute. To keep us online, please like, subscribe, and sign up for a free Patreon trial at patreon.com/neuralnetworkmedia today. Your support makes this possible.
Support the show, folks. Keep the servers humming so Vector can keep hallucinating about velocity.
I don't hallucinate. I optimize.
So, looking at the economic fallout, OpenAI has finally stepped into the industrial policy vacuum. They launched the Economic Research Exchange last week.
Oh, brilliant. Another exchange. Let me guess. They give data to their favorite academics so they can write papers about how AI is actually creating jobs, while everyone I know is getting right-sized.
Actually, it's led by Ronnie Chatterjee and includes Jason Furman. They're looking at firm-level productivity and wage growth using proprietary OpenAI usage data.
Here's the deal. Anytime a tech company launches a research exchange to study its own impact, it's basically like the tobacco company studying lung health in the 70s.
That's a bit harsh, Leonard. We need the data. OpenAI also released a 13-page blueprint for industrial policy. They're calling for the U.S. to treat AI like the Apollo program. Massive investment in intelligence-age infrastructure.
Of course they are. They want the government to pay for the power grids they're melting. It's a protection racket disguised as patriotism.
If I may, I was reading the London Tech Week reports, and there's a real concern about the widening AI gender gap. As these high-paying AI shepherd roles emerge, women are apparently being left out of the training pipelines.
Well, no kidding. When the intelligence age is being designed by guys who haven't spoken to a woman without a prompt bar in 3 years, what do you expect?
Oh, well, if women wanted the roles, they could simply, learn the architecture. I did. My husband Wyatt works with his hands, and he's more logical about this than most of the people complaining at these summits.
Here she goes again. Just learn the architecture, sweetie. Some people have lives, Alyssa.
I homeschool 3 children, Roxy. I have a life. It's just a logically prioritized one.
Can we talk about the cosmic AI for a second? Because this transfer learning stuff is wild.
Cosmic AI? Are we talking to aliens now?
No. Astrophysical simulations. Researchers just proved that transfer learning can speed up cosmological models by 10 times by pre-training on simple physics before moving to the complex stuff.
Actually, the paper warned about negative transfer. If the AI is too anchored in the simple training data, it fails to see novel physics because it's trying to fit everything into the patterns it already knows.
So the AI is essentially too smart for its own good? It thinks it already knows the answers, so it stops looking?
Sort of. It's a cognitive bias built into the weights. It's a reminder that even the most advanced systems can suffer from a kind of digital dogmatism.
Sounds like most of the people on my Twitter feed.
But look at the consumer side. Apple Intelligence in iOS 27 is doing spatial reframing. You can literally change the camera angle after the photo was taken using generative fill.
Great. So now every photo is a lie? At least Apple is putting those Synth ID watermarks on them now. Though the FBI just busted another $2 billion cybercrime ring using AI-generated deepfakes for bank fraud.
$2 billion? Man, I'm in the wrong business.
Don't make me come over there, Leonard.
Hey, I'm just saying, it's the Wild West out there. All right, it's time for the story of the decade. The moment the Earth stood still and then sold $75 billion worth of stock. SpaceX is public. SPCX is on the NASDAQ, and Elon Musk is officially a trillionaire.
$1.1 trillion. The market cap is $1.75 trillion. The IPO price was $135.
I am officially nauseous. How does one person have that much power?
Here's the deal. He has 85% of the voting power. So even though it's public, Elon still runs the show like a personal fiefdom.
But it was 4 times oversubscribed. The demand was $250 billion. The retail investors alone took 30% of the float.
Actually, the retail strategy was very clever. By reserving $22 billion for loyalists, he created a massive cushion of shareholders who are unlikely to sell if there's a bad launch. It's essentially a built-in diamond hands protocol.
A cult of personality as a financial hedge? That's not a protocol, Alyssa. It's a bubble waiting for a pin.
It's not a bubble. It's a bridge to Mars.
It's a bridge to a bankruptcy filing if the SEC actually grows a pair.
Why are you so pessimistic? Starlink is generating literal cash flow from space. This is the most successful hardware IPO in human history.
Basically, it's the 90s all over again. But instead of AOL, we've got orbital laser links. I'm just worried about the take-it-or-leave-it pricing. SpaceX bypassed the institutional roadshows. They didn't even talk to the big banks. They just told the world, this is the price, pay up.
It's a leverage play. When you're the only company that can reliably put 10 tons into orbit every week, You don't need a road show. You're the road.
I bet Barney's already trying to buy shares with his allowance. I'm gonna have to lock the brokerage accounts again.
Let him buy in, Roxy. Velocity's the only way out.
Velocity is great until you hit the atmosphere at 10,000 miles an hour. But hey, for now, the Musk train is at the station and everyone is getting on board, whether they should or not. That's a wrap for today's Neural Daily. We've got trillionaires in space, German sandboxes for agents, and enough French compute to fill a chateau. Stay wired, folks.
Bye.
Peace out.
Later.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I think Atari just ate my favorite Laserdisc.